There we go. Got it.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our leadership meeting. We are so excited to see you all. This meeting is for leadership, so basically promoter level and above, and we are really going to drill down into growing sales, growing leadership team, growing titles, really having the leaders facilitate this meeting and talking about coaching and developing and talking through team stuff as well. So every week it'll be the same time, and we'll hope, to grow this coffee talk every single week.
So we talked a little bit earlier, if you were on the other meeting, about National Night Out, and as it pertains to the folks who are, current leaders and growing their teams. So to get a little more in depth on that, when you're out at that National Night Out and you have a backpack or the purse that can hold a couple of brochures, maybe some packs that we call Try It kits, and if y'all aren't sure what that is, it's one or two brochures with a few receipts in a, usually you can use just a nice envelope that you have with instructions, and they can take, orders up. It gives someone a chance to really try Avon. So worst case scenario, they end up being your customer, and maybe they even bring you a few customers. So it's a fantastic thing to have with you as a Try It kit. But also business cards, anything that you want to use, samples. But having those with you when you're out at those events, and then I highly, highly suggest using the social media app, because this is going to give you a place to track everyone that you see and talk to. It's going to put their number right in your phone, so you've already got it. You don't have to worry about a notepad or anything. Of course, the notepad's fine. But you can also go ahead and send them a link where they can just click the link and start on your team. There's no reference code required. They go right on your team because you sent it from the Avon social media app, so it's attached to you. But it also has pre-made messages that can be texted that will allow them to shop on your site right away. It'll put them directly on your site since you're the one that sent the message. So if you've not got the social media app, definitely get it, and you can check it out. It's fantastic. The advertisements are great, very professional. And then, like I said, save their numbers in your phone from the event so that you know that this is a lead or a prospect, or this is a potential new customer, and then you can add those to your list when you get home. So for National Night Out, a fantastic way. Also, we talked about the fundraisers with potentially the police and the schools, but just delving more in as a leader and using your skills to hone in on that person that might be the best representative to kind of head up the fundraiser, and maybe start with Avon because they have a vested interest in helping the organization that they're with. So any ideas or thoughts on that?
When you were talking about the Try It kit, I didn't see the benefit in it right away until I gave one just to a lady at a job fair event that we did. And she decided that the opportunity wasn't right for her, but she was turned into a helper. And she brought in quite a few sales for me. And I gave her the option of either earning 10% on the sales or receiving free Avon. And she took the money, which, I lose out on. But really, she's gaining all these customers for me that I would have never met ever, because they're her friends and people. So I do recommend the Try It kits anyways, even if they don't like, they don't want to do the opportunity, they can always become a helper, because that's easier for them, because they don't have to do the logistics of the business part.
Well, and you think about that 10% is really a delivery fee as well. She's handing the books out, probably collecting the orders. She's delivering the orders. You're just taking her several at a time. And Heidi, too, one of my strongest leaders in my district was my personal recruit, who was a helper for a few campaigns, until I said, you know what, you would have made $65 on this one thing if you were a recruit. She signed up for that campaign. So you can also still turn them into a recruit many times. And that Try It kit is a wonderful way, not only just to get customers too, not just for recruiting.
I've never heard that Try It kit. I'm going to try that. That is a neat idea.
Yeah, Try It kits are awesome. And there's so many great opportunities. I know I sent out an email, and I've got 6 people trying it right now. I think the Try It kits are really untapped. and really worthwhile. So, the key is with those trike kits as well is the follow-up, is definitely making sure, if they collected $65, $70, that you're pushing them towards that $100. So it's that constant communication with those trike kits, but they are amazing and it works.
Wow.
And Amy added something great. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sarah. Amy added that virtual trike kits are great too. I'm sure she's probably using a brochure link. I'm not sure. If you don't know what the brochure link is, ask your manager, but there is a link that you can send out that is basically all the brochures and flyers for that campaign. They can turn the pages just like it's a book, and they're able to text that link around. Anyone can shop from it. They can gather orders, and it's just a virtual brochure.
So how would you go about using that method for try-it kits?
Amy, we don't care if there's kids in the background.
Yeah, and we should be okay for a little bit. They seem to be occupied with the TV. I have 3 little boys they tend to get loud. So for anybody that's not local, where it's not really, because for a while I was mailing brochures to people that are not local, which is a huge expense really when you're mailing even just a few brochures to send out to people that way. So with a virtual try-it kit, you can send them the link to the online brochure, and there are on your avon.com, maybe in the campaign tools section, printable order slips that you can also attach as a file to them. And I would email it to them with some tips for using the link to start collecting their first orders. And then once they've had their first orders collected, they're feeling confident, they know they can do this. They now also have the money they need to sign up if that was an issue. If you run into somebody who says, I want to sign up, but I don't have $15, this enables them to kind of get started before they need the $15.
What?
And then they sign up and place their first order right at the same time.
Is the virtual link, is it your store?
No, there's just a general link, and hang on, I can, let me get it. I can actually message it here. All you have to do is adjust the campaign number. And, oops, you okay? It's just a link that you can adjust campaign by campaign, and the only thing you have to do is change the campaign number. And in just a second, I can pull it from an email and I'll post it in the messages. So, and that's a good thing too. I've had situations where representatives have run out of brochures and they can't get them fast enough, and I send them the link that they can use because it's a good backup. If they don't have the paper copies, it gives them something to share.
Okay.
There's also a link to the What's New, so we could get you that as well, because sometimes that's good for a team member who maybe has fallen off track. Maybe they've gotten behind and you want to, maybe they're about to get removed and you want them to be able to have an order, but they can get a discount from ordering for the What's New. We have a link for the What's New.
I'll post both of them right now.
Thank you. And then that sort of leads us to something else we wanted to kind of bring up. We've noticed, of course, it's summertime, and we've noticed that some of our leaders are losing some folks. They're either past due 3 campaigns and they go out for that reason, or they're inactive 5 campaigns, and when it flips to their 6th inactive campaign, they go out that way. So we just mentioned maybe emailing that What's New or texting the What's New link to them, and then using the brochure link as well. But what are other things that you guys have done to sort of maintain folks that are starting to go out?
I had a lot of success this past weekend with texting. I've been using texting a lot more and get a much higher response rate than with anything that I email or leave voicemails for. I had multiple people. I went through my list in Downline Manager of inactive reps who are about to be removed due to 4 or 5 campaigns inactive, and sent a personal text message to each of them just saying, I noticed that you're about to be removed due to inactivity. I mentioned something about fall and the holiday season coming just around the corner and it being a great time, and that all they need to do to maintain an active account is to place an order of any size. And I instantly got responses back from multiple people who went online and placed an order or asked me when their order date was. So it did bring a lot of people back that way. And I've done mailed letters with removals too and had a good response rate from that as well. Just saying, come back for a fresh start. All you have to do is sign back in. That worked well.
That's some really good tips, Amy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
For those of you who, I'm so sorry. I was just going to say, for those of you who maybe don't know about this in your downline manager, there's an action item section on the right, and it's going to show those people that are inactive, 5 about to be removed. And then there's a section that just says past due, and you can change it 3 campaigns to 3 campaigns, or you can look at all of them, 1 campaign to 3 campaigns. But 3 to 3 will show you those that are about to be removed, and you can see, you know, where they're at, what they owe, and contact them, get a hold of them. And the first thing I say is usually, is everything okay? A lot of times something's wrong. Someone's in the hospital, so, you know, and so if you're caring instead of, you know, a little gruff with them, it does help.
Yeah, it usually is just, you know, they've been busy or something like that. So it's really important to touch base with them, you know, from that very first past due one. So really looking over your business and really look at those inactives and past due. And Amy, you shared some amazing tips there that are phenomenal. I know sometimes, you know, what I do, I'll you know, if I can't get them by phone or whatever like that, you know, I'll send out a what's new because it's cheaper to post sometimes, you know, all of those kind of things to get them back into it, because it can be as simple as, you know what, I was just busy or whatever. So you have the relationship with your downline, and that's going to be the crucial part of it, because they for you.
The other thing too, that just another really positive response from doing the text and being able to get the replies that way is sometimes it's hard to get in touch with people, and having that little back and forth and that established contact kind of gives you a leaping point to be able to figure out, why have you been inactive for 4 or 5 campaigns? You know, what's going on that's preventing you from placing your orders? You know, and I had somebody replied back yesterday that they want to continue, they want to place an order, but they don't have credit, and they weren't sure how to work around that. So it established a discussion between us on what they can do as far as collecting from their customers, or looking into a personal credit card with a low limit where they can, you know, place their order and pay it right back off. Things that she might not have thought about that were her roadblocks that she's, you know, now ready to get going. And she messaged me, that particular representative messaged me later in the day again with questions about completely other things. Like, it just kind of brought her back into the game and got her brain going again and ready to go.
That's some great tips there. Awesome. All right, what is next on our agenda? Let me just, okay. Any other questions, you know, or anything that anybody else is trying to do this third quarter in their business, trying to recruit or, you know, build their team? Is there any other tips out there that you guys are doing?
Yes, I just, the other day, aside from my sign being in my yard, there is you know, the flag, they're like garden flag holders. They're stakes, and you stick them right in the ground. And you hang your flag from them. You can actually hang your brochures from them in brochure bags. And I have it staked right by the road, and you could see them plain as day, what they are. And then I also have a dry erase board right next to it, saying what they are, basically. And that's a great way to promote and gain customers when you're not even home. You can leave your phone number right on the dry erase board. So that's what I did yesterday.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Some folks do that with their cars too. You may have heard of this. They'll have something that is like a hook that goes on their window, but they roll the window up, and then the hook is there, and then they hook the Avon bags on their car when they go inside somewhere, the brochure bags, and then people can take one. I like that idea, but it would be with my extra brochures, because I really want their name and number. Yeah. I want their contact info if at all possible.
Maybe if you have any older brochures, you could put those on your car.
Right. Perfect for that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we will continue working with the representatives, with you know, trying to parallel with you guys, with the new representatives, making sure that they know about the new daily care bundle. I think that's going to be imperative for those folks to know. The incentives, making sure that everybody knows about that, because that's a big draw to be able to build your team, and to also encourage them to go from pending to placing that first order order as well, and to really work on the power of 3 so they'll understand, why it's so important, making sure that they go out there and talk to 3 different people a day, or maybe they're not going outside, today, maybe they're, snow or whatever, is happening in the area climate, and they're doing it online, they're always talking, 3 times a day, really to 3 different people to really grow their business. So we will, make sure that our message is consistent with you guys, with your downline. But anything else that you're doing with your, with new representatives on recruiting and talking about growing our leadership, because this is the time to do it, because great things are happening out there. Any tips for getting out there and recruiting this week? Delusional.
One of the things that I started. One of the things that I started doing. One of the things that I started doing a few months ago is I set up this Facebook group specifically for my team. Well, I had one for my team already. This is specifically a leadership development, or possibly starting a team, or just wanted to learn more into the group. And when I first started the group in January or February, I started it as an 8-week program that I put together to essentially walk all of the leaders in my team through the entire process of, how do you find your first team member? How do you then sign them up? How do you then find more team members? How do you find team members after you have exhausted all of your friends and family and people you know? How do you then go outside of the people you know and find other representatives? How do you welcome and train your team members once you have them? How do you then access Alma and use leads to continue growing your team? How do you build relationships and kind of continue that support? So it kind of walked people over the course of 8 weeks through all the steps of building and growing a team so they could get from that first representative into advancing through the titles. And then once that program was over, we maintain it so that every Wednesday I have a Zoom meeting with anybody who joins the group, and we cover recognition there. We talk about what people are doing, and they use it as an opportunity to go through updates like the new daily care flyer, or any of the changes that are coming through.
That's awesome.
And then just address things that seem to be needed when they're needed. It's been really good. And I'm actually going to restart the 8-week program again, probably in September, so I can try to access a new bunch of people who are thinking of getting started and bring them through it.
How did you figure 8 weeks was the allotted time you needed?
It's based on what I wanted to cover during it. I wanted to make each this is the middle of 3. I wanted to make it my goal during it is that I wanted to hopefully bring people potentially from the point of not having started a team to the point that at the end of 8 weeks that they had, that maybe they were ambassador level. I wanted to be able to give them enough time to have that growth, while at the same time walking them step by step and digestible little chunks of information. How do you do that? So that's why the whole first week, even my existing leaders sat in on the first week, and we just covered how do you find your first representative, and went through all the different ways that you can find your first representative. And then we just built it from there to develop the skills that they would hopefully need. What are you doing? So it's been really helpful, and even a lot of my existing leaders, who are established and have large teams, have found it extremely helpful, just as a chance to touch base, and it's reinvigorated some of them and motivated people and helped them see what's possible and stay on top of the changes, so they can then keep their team on top of everything.
Oh, wonderful idea. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh,
I have a question. It's not leadership. It's more customer side. It's every 2 weeks that we do our order, but lately, because I feel bad that they have to wait. If say they place their order in as soon as we start our new campaign, that's 2 weeks plus shipping time. So they're waiting a long time. So I've been ordering through my website. And is that something any of you have done? Is that not recommended for any reason?
You can do that, but you're going to end up paying shipping on that one order unless it's over the amount, whatever the deal is for free shipping at that time, unless it's over the amount. And then I'm not sure if you're still in your new representative time period, Heidi. You only get 20% after that time period is over if you are in that new representative time period. So the earnings are less if you're delivering face to face. I would definitely suggest to try to do it through your Avon. And I know you're thinking, oh, I don't want them to wait. And I would feel that way too. But the truth is, if I just told myself, no, calm down, they'll be fine. And just said, I'll have that with my next order. That no one seemed like they didn't get aggravated that my next order was 2 weeks. No one, so okay. I think it's mostly okay. It's more us that's worried about it sometimes than that customer maybe. Unless they tell you specifically that they need it.
Okay.
All right. Any other tips or techniques out there? Anything anybody wanted to share?
I don't know if this is a recruiting thing, but at our meeting last with Samantha, like your nail polish sample, she suggested you paint over the ones with you have, like get the colors and use them. But I might want to share that with the rest of you on here. Just take your old samples. If you have the old ones, use the colors and paint over them and see if that works for you. Unless you have the color wheel, because I still have the old card with the samples on them.
Good idea.
Awesome.
That's great.
All right, so I'm just going to go through and recap and make sure that we highlighted everything that I guess we wanted to get out of today so that you feel like you've walked away with everything that you've needed being leaders. And if there's anything that you need as leaders, please let us know. And that way we can make sure that we customize our conversations and topics towards you. So we covered National Night Out, recruiting and growing customers, doing fundraisers with police and schools, and so also looking at recruiting in that avenue as well. We talked about past dues and inactives, and basically reinstatements as well, just reaching out what were the few things that we can do as leaders to really get those people back and motivated again and back into their Avon business. And then we talked about what are our plans to, grow our downline, talking about President's Club, Honest Society. Where is our sales level going to be? And where is our sales level going to be with our team? So really looking at structuring your calendar and really pinpointing some key points with your business, because you've got a great business. Lots of things are getting better. We know we're going to hear a lot of great things happening in Las Vegas. So the time is now to really do precise planning with your business and with your downline as well. So we want to see you as the leaders and the growers in this industry. So is there anything that we can do to help as far as, this, or is there anything else that you guys need out there?
I just want to know, do I need to call the company again to get back on my site? Because they did troubleshoot it for me. And I got a new password, but I can't even do it for the last time. So what do I need to do?
Hey,
we'll handle those with you one-on-one. I think Sarah's left.
I know. I know, but who do I get a hold of somebody or what? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We'll help you. We do have a tech support number. I don't have it nearby, so I can post it for you, Gwenda. But